Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome to another Cosmic Trial Guide for Marvel Heroes Omega for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. With this particular video we will run through the Cosmic Trial on Moon Knight. Now I've recently just hit level 60 on him, so from a gear perspective he just simply has regular superheroic gear. We don't have any real special artifacts or legendary or anything like that, and the whole purpose behind me having gear of that nature is that if I can show off a build here that can pass the trial when I'm undergeared, then hopefully you can also get through it undergeared, or failing that, if you're struggling, if you gear up a bit, then this guide should without a doubt help you be able to pass through the Cosmic Trial and get into Cosmic difficulty. But what we'll do before we actually show off the Cosmic Trial gameplay is I'll show off the skills and talents I use first. Now with this setup here we don't have a massive amount of dots and high cooldown skills, so we do actually have to use a spender, and the spender we're using is Crescent Launchers. This is great because it restores Khonshu's favour, and on top of this it actually bounces between various enemies as well. The next skill we have, it's a simple enough one, it just has a damage packet, no kind of stun or vulnerability, and that would be Angel Wing Attack Run. We then have Crescent Fan, so we get 2 charges of these, and when you throw them out they act as a bleed dot for 8 seconds. You want to make sure the bleed is always up on the enemies you're fighting. We then have Truncheon Ricochet, low 4-second cooldown, and it bounces between up to 8 enemies, so throw this out when you get the opportunity. And then we have Tripwire Bolas. So this is great because, as mentioned with this build, you need to use a spender, so you will be standing still for longer periods of time than what we're used to, and this allows you to mobilise the enemy for 3 seconds, and on top of that it leaves a dot on them for 8 seconds as well, so it's a great skill for that reason. Now next up we go all the way along to our signature, and this is normally a melee signature on Moon Knight, however through talents we convert it to Launcher Frenzy. So it's 14 damage packets within 7 seconds, simply hold down the button to fire them all off. The initial damage packets are all small enough, the final damage packet is huge, and it works as an execute as well, so it really can do a nice amount of damage. Finally we have Statue of Khonshu, so we need our actual resource meter to be full before we can use that. When we do, we regain health at 10% per second, or that's of your max health, and you gain an increase to your base damage and critical hit chance as well. So I find that generally the regen in this is enough so we can stand still and keep firing off our spender, so this is really useful for that reason. But next up, let's have a look at the talents we would use. First talent we look at here then is a nice defensive one, and it's called Divine Protection. So with this we gain health, we also gain 10% defense rating multiplier, and we also generate Khonshu's favour when we're hit as well, so that's great for getting that resource meter up even quicker. We then have Speciality Crescent Darts. So with this one it converts our main spender Crescent Launchers and it turns it into a skill that will bounce up to 4 enemies, which makes it great because there is a whole lot of trash in the Cosmic Trial that we need to take out before we can concentrate on the bosses. We then have Tools of Vengeance Utility Crescents. So with this one, your Crescent Fan, which is providing your bleed, you gain 2 charges on that, hits for more and gains a cooldown, and on top of that Tripwire Bolas deal a dot as well, and the mobilise moves from 1 second up to 3 seconds there. We then have Tools of Vengeance, this one's called Launchers, so this transforms the melee signature, which is Gruesome Frenzy, into Launcher Frenzy, and we use that because you don't want to get too close with this setup because we don't have the best of gear on, so we don't have a massive amount of sustain, so you want to keep your range when you can. Now finally we have Terrifying Visage of Khonshu. So with this one you gain a critical hit chance based on how much Khonshu's favour you're actually missing, but probably more importantly with this particular talent, when you use Statue of Khonshu, enemies deal 25% less damage to you and take 25% more damage from your powers. So this works great with the 10% health regen, and it allows us to stand in the area of it and keep firing off our spender and all our skills, so we're not kiting too much and we're not losing too much time there. But what we'll do next, run through the Cosmic Trial. Once that's completed we'll show off the gear we've used as well.
I am the Avatar of Vengeance. That was just the beginning. That'll never work. The Mandarin is invincible. Why have you forsaken me, Khonshu? Feel the Mandarin's wrath. Yeah! I am all-powerful. So many ways to hurt you. This cannot be. I made a tough choice. I don't care about fallout.
Hydra is eternal. The Red Skull is forever!
Was the prophecy untrue?
No. No! I will have my revenge, for the Red Skull shall always return.
I was not strong enough.
And there we go. So I think that was the first time I've actually took down Red Skull without taking down the trash, but a win's a win, so I'm not going to complain. Now gear wise, as you can see, it's what we mentioned at the start of the video. The one thing I'll point out that's quite important is Electra medallion for the invisibility. That does help a ton. But I hope this Cosmic Trial video was useful as always, and if there's any questions feel free to ask, and I'll see you all again soon.